previously on Ballz.
John just got a message. He's obviously inundated with calls, as obviously and understandably so as well, because of the number of people around the world. Hey, Peet, hoe gaan het? Dis Darren and John and Simon and Kate, die Ballz radio span.
Hallo Peet.
Hoe gaan het? Alright, thank you. It have been better before.
Yeah, well, I can understand that, Peet, and I know that you've been absolutely inundated with people from all over the world contacting you. And I mean, as we were just saying, we were talking a little earlier on, and we here at Ballz Radio have not spoken to anybody linked to either of the families, because the bottom line of the fact is that we've taken this the stance that this is a case that is still going to go to court. There's a lot of information coming out about what might or might not have gone down that night at Oscar's house, and we're not going to get answers tomorrow either, other than a plea. So it's still going to be a long time to come, a long trial, and the facts will come out there in court. That's the bottom line. So that's kind of our stance we've taken. You can't ignore all the stuff that's been said around, and I mean this has been a very publicly judged thing. I mean, just based on information that's leaking, and I'm stunned at how some of this stuff has actually come out into the media before we've actually even heard about it in court.
Yeah, begs to ask the question: how reliable is the security services? Because who else has got access to the information?
Well, exactly. I mean, it's the people. You get your first responders, and then, after that, it's secondary, tertiary, and so on and so forth. But, I mean, a lot of the stuff was being leaked last week already. And it obviously comes from people that have been very close to the scene, the crime scene. And it is a disturbing thing when, obviously, some people are mentioning details and facts or not facts, you can't call them facts until they've actually been proven, but I mean details of what they've saw and witnessed at the scene, that it's getting out there.
Yeah, but as I said, I can't comment on any of that, obviously, because I've been instructed by Oscar's legal team that we will let the law take its course, and the only aspect that I can really personally talk about is my responsibility in my professional capacity as his agent, taking care of his athletic career at this point in time.
All right, and that is actually that is what you are. You're his agent. You take care of his athletics career. Have you? Yep. I mean, have you had an opportunity to? Have you communicated with him direct, or are you talking to people around him?
I was privileged to be allowed to see him yesterday for about 5 or so minutes at the Brooklyn police station in the cells, and obviously had to just catch up with him and had a chat with him about how he's holding up and all that, and then obviously I had to talk to him about all the plans that was already in place and secured for the season, with the main goal being the Athletics World Championships in Moscow in August.
And I see, Peet, you've the word coming out is that he's withdrawn from all events this year.
Well, basically what we've done is for all the competitions that we have already entered him and signed agreements for him to run, we've taken him out of all of that, because I just think, and I made the call and I ran it by him yesterday. Is that I'm not of the opinion that it's in his best interest to compete under these conditions at this point in time.
Again, I mean, it's got to be, and a lot of people are saying, well, looking and reading into this, going, okay, well, they're reading things into it. And I mean, the bottom line is that, first of all, as an athlete, and you look at it as an athlete, there's just no ways that someone's going to be able to, first of all, I mean, one event leads up to another event. Some of them are preparation events for other events that happen later on. So if you're not doing those events in the short term, it affects what you do, and there's qualifications and all kinds of things that you have to run to get to other events. So
exactly.
everything's
the whole series of events that we have planned for him. Just to give you an idea, we had 2 competitions for him in Australia in March, which was ideal preparation for him for the South African Championships that is scheduled for the 12th or the 13th of April in Cape Town. So, due to the current situation in South African athletics, where we don't really have top-class athletics anymore really taking place, we had to look elsewhere. and it's impossible for us to go into the indoor season in Europe, so Australia was a great opportunity and a great option for us. And as you correctly pointed out, it's all a process that you use for the South African Championships. There's both South African Championships. You look at certain events in certain specific dates that the coach guides me with and say, listen, this is when I want him to run because I want to test him for certain aspects there. In what shape is he there? Is his speed endurance what it needs to be? Is his muscle endurance what it's going to be? Or do we need to pick up on this or whatever the case might be? So that's why all these competitions was chosen for specific dates and very carefully planned for the World Championships as the main goal for the year.
And of course, I mean, in an athlete, in any sportsman, emotional state of mind as well. Now we've got to remember, tomorrow is a hearing about his plea. It's not going to be the case is not going to be heard tomorrow. This is just basically going for his plea. We don't know when this will go to trial, how long the state and also the defence are going to need to put their cases together. There's a lot of forensics, a lot of information, and a lot of stuff that's come out that needs to be investigated. So as an agent, you can't literally sit there and say, okay, well, this is going to take X amount of time, therefore I'm only cancelling up until there. We'll see what happens with the court case and then take it from there. You don't know what the timeline is.
Exactly. That's something we've got no control over, and pretty much, as I said, the meet that was cancelled was the ones that was already signed and sealed, but there was a whole host of others, and especially Diamond League events that negotiations was already ongoing. But I mean, there's no way I can allow Oscar in his current state of mind to compete because it's just not possible for him to focus on his athletics at this point in time. He's got far bigger things to worry now about.
And Piet, Oscar himself, how's he looking? How's he holding up in prison there?
I want to add on to that. Just when you said you did speak to him, I mean, did you have to basically drive? Because obviously there's so much that you got to ponder and think about when you're sitting waiting for this trial to now happen. I mean, was he of a solid enough state of mind to be able to say to you, look, Piet, cancel everything, don't worry, or did you have to basically sort of put that forward to him?
Well, as I said, I've taken the decision and I've basically just informed him what has been done so that he doesn't have to worry about this as well. He can just, as I said, focus on what is lying ahead for him. That's my main goal for this was to really just get this whole aspect of competing and being under more pressure with sponsors and all that out of the way for him, that he doesn't have to worry about that.
Yeah. From a sponsor's point of view, just clarify exactly what the stance is from their side. In other words, not decisions that they've made, but what has their attitude been? Because again, this is not gone to trial yet, and no one has been found guilty of anything yet. This is obviously everything's sort of come out, and there's been a lot of hysteria based around speculation and this information that keeps coming out via the media, etc., etc. You've obviously engaged them all. Are they playing a sort of we want to wait and see attitude, or what's the status with them?
Well, I sent out, obviously, and have been talking to all his sponsors and also potential sponsors, because there was quite a number of nice potential sponsors already in place that were coming on board within the next couple of months, and I can state that not one of them has come back and say, listen, we don't want anything to do with Oscar. We support him. We have condolences with the whole tragedy, and we will wait and see. Let the court and the legal system dictate before we take any formal stance on our relationship with Oscar. But everything is as it is at the moment, in place, intact, and the guys have been very supportive and sending very, very supporting messages to Oscar.
All right, so that comes from the sponsors themselves. So no one has actually withdrawn his name or withdrawn anything.
No one.
Other than
no one.
Yeah. All right, Piet. Well, listen, we know that you are inundated, and a lot of people want to chat to you. So we thank you for your time this afternoon. And
no, you're welcome, guys. You're welcome, more than welcome. And hopefully, as I said, after the Ballz hearing, we might be in a position to discuss other issues, but as I said, at this point in time, I'm not in a position to discuss anything regarding the case.
All right. Thanks a lot, Piet. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.
I'll
Appreciate it.
leave
Take care.
it.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.
man. Bye.
There we go. That's Peet van Zyl talking to us today about...
This is Ballz Visual Radio. Darren, Simon, Kate, and John. Weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central African Time. Ballz.co.za